I know it sounds crazy, but look, I think the more interesting question for your audience is, what's one important question which you asked? How do you pick a job? We talked about that. The other question to ask is, what job should I take now? And what company can I start?
Yeah.
And for the next 10 years, the following is true. Anybody in any industry not using AI will be obsoleted by somebody who's using AI. So if I'm an entrepreneur in India today, I say, what's my next move? Say, where can I apply AI that obsoletes the service, either in cost or in performance or in quality, that somebody's providing without AI, and beat them at it. I think that's the metric for every entrepreneur.
If, say, 10 entrepreneurs hear that, and
there will be 10 who hear that.
Yeah, 100%. And they all use the same means to approach this problem, and AI is as democratic as it is right now, wouldn't they all 10 arrive at the same solution?
I think there's massive difference in the quality of entrepreneurs. And the outcome will be a result of the quality of the entrepreneur, how they think from first principles, how strategically they think. Almost certainly the people who only think a year out will be obsoleted by the people who think, what do I want to build in 5 years? But what can I sell next year? But where do I want to head in 5 years? Following a good analogy for entrepreneurs that I love. Imagine you want to climb Mount Everest. And you have two people setting out. And one says, I'll get to base camp, then to camp 1, camp 2, camp 3. I think there's camp 4 and then the peak, right? It's not a straight path.
Right.
Another entrepreneur says, I'm going to get the most revenue in year 2, year 1 and year 2. They won't go to camp 1, base camp or camp 1. They'll pick the highest peak that doesn't then lead to something beyond. The path to Everest through these camps is very strategically picked to have the long-term vision of getting to Everest. Most people maximize revenue for the short term and are not thinking strategically. So the strategic entrepreneurs will do better. The entrepreneurs who pick better employees, who help them think through strategy, will do better. So people selection or team building will become the most important characteristic where the AI technology is democratized, if you believe it's democratized. Which investor you pick. Do they have a short-term orientation or a long-term orientation? Makes a dramatic difference. What kind of advice you get. Most of the advice most entrepreneurs get is bad. So if you Google 90% of venture capitalists add no value, my name pops up because I've always said this for the last 25 years. I see such bad advice being given or short-term advice being given by investors. So picking your investors right, picking your employees right, those make a huge difference. When things go wrong, do you get scared and retract or pick a better strategy to survive and be more strategic? Do you think from first principle? All those things are massive differentiators. I think the shortage today is not of technology or capital. It's of great entrepreneurs who know how to make these choices. The single most important decision an entrepreneur makes is whose advice to trust on what topic. Because they'll get advice from lots of people. Everybody does. Most of it is not good advice. And so I feel bad for entrepreneurs who get bad advice, but in the end, they're responsible for deciding what advice to take, and it's the most important decision they make.
Do you need an entrepreneur then? If you can model for the behavior that successful entrepreneurs, like you speak about a few often, if you can model for all their behavior and put it in a model and throw out outcomes like they were making the decision, why do you then need the entrepreneur?
Um,
Why do you need venture capital?
are we there today? No.
Hmm.
Might we be there in 10 years? Maybe.
Right.
One of my speculations on the internet, on Twitter, has been when will the first billion-dollar company that's only has 10 employees be started, or has it already started? I
Right.
think that's a valid question.
Right.
And sometime in the next 10 years, we will see a company with $1 billion of revenue that has only 10 employees. Whether it's already been started or will be started, I don't know.
So, Vinod, I've been spending a lot of time with my team trying to come up with a thesis of what sectors might do better than others as this change in the world happens, while it occurs. Some of the things that we've been digging data up around are things like the world will be older and sicker and people will have lesser kids than they're having or were having 10 years ago. When people have more time and discretionary spending power, they go back to their innate programming of wanting to speculate. So speculative businesses might do better. Do you have thoughts on these or opinions like this of your own?
On the entrepreneur side, I look at the question, who thinks from first principles, who's not scared of hardship, because the entrepreneurial roller coaster has lots of highs and lows, and who has the fastest learning rate, right? If they are a fast learner, they'll adapt to the world as it changes. And that may be the most important characteristic of an entrepreneur.
Yeah. I'm making the assumption that you're a faster learner than everyone else here. And I want to know what you've adapted to now that I might not be seeing yet.
Well, I don't think people believe this world I'm describing. So if you look at my AI dystopia or utopia paper, most of the world I'm talking about is not something people believe.
But that's natural because I feel like humans are programmed to worry a lot more about fear than think of the gain that they're getting.
Yeah.
Twice as much, according
It
to
is,
Kahneman.
but not everybody is, not all humans, and those are the people who will do well, who are optimistic about the future and then persistent through real hardship of the ups and downs to make the passion they have happen.
Right.
Like we have a company that's building public transit based on self-driving, where the vehicles become small and personal. You don't need a DTC bus in New Delhi to carry people. It can be a two-person pod that drives itself from A to B.
I actually have a personal question around this. For the last couple of years, I almost made an assumption that mobility will move to electric from IC, fossil fuel based. And I bet on everything from scooter companies to car, truck, bus, even a flying taxi company. But the adoption to EV in this last cycle seems to be slowing down. Do you agree with that thesis that all mobility will be electric in nature? And if yes, why is it slowing down?
On land, yes,
Right.
almost certainly.
Why is it slowing down the pace of adoption?
Look, anytime you're an incumbent, you
Right.
want to slow things down. It's to your advantage that things change slowly because you adapt more slowly. And so incumbents always do that. And there's always fits and starts. It's never a straight line. But I can't see, some of the US companies are slowing down. But what's happening? BYD in China is the fastest growing company in the automotive world.
Actually, even in India, a lot of companies are slowing down.
Yeah, and that may be, but that doesn't change eventually where it'll get to.
Yeah, I hope so too. But
Yeah. I'm pretty certain that'll happen. But the more the uncertainty, the harder it is to pick the right company to invest in. But
do you think energy and data centers as a business, sufficient legroom and tailwinds to be, if I were 22 and starting off, to spend a decade in them? By energy, I don't mean the means of generating energy. It could be fusion, it could be something else, but focusing on energy.
I would say there's some combination of where your passion is and expertise. Passion counts for more than most people think, right? Because you persist through ups and downs. And if you don't have passion, you give up. It's like you don't give up on your religion just because you had a hard time. So
someone wise once said, "A emotion which is a passion ceases to be a passion once you developed a clear understanding of it." So you're not really, it's very hard to be passionate about something that you've understood. Religion could fall in that territory. Nobody can truly understand it. And I've heard you in interviews say that passion is not necessarily the pivotal force that should define which sector you should work in.
So I think in the world of the past,
Yeah.
I used to tell kids when the advice you get is follow your passion, I would say, follow your passion if you're willing to starve and not make a living for your family.
Live on a beach in a hut and stuff. I remember you saying this, yeah.
So you can go surfing and you can absolutely go live in Hawaii and survive, but you're not paying for a Stanford education for your kids
Right.
if you're surfing.
Yeah.
So you have to be realistic about, it may still be a good trade-off, but everybody has to be explicit on what trade-off they're making. If you bet your life on being the best cricketer, you don't make it, then you're a waiter, right? Are you willing to take a 0.001 probability you'll be a world-class cricketer on the Indian cricket team, or and the rest of the probability you're a waiter? That's a choice you get to make. That used to be true. I think we will go in a world where you can pursue much more of your passion. I think that will change, and that is where AI will free humanity to pursue what they're interested in, and to change your passion if it changes over time.
Right.
My passions aren't the same from when I was 20.
Yeah, fair. In all that you're saying, Vinod, you're coming across very optimistic and utopian about this whole thing. I know you don't believe in bubbles per se, but as an investor, you have seen the many cycles, many more than I have. Do you think we could be in a bubble today and overestimating, I'm not saying overestimating the change, but the pace or the rate of change?
I would make the following differentiation. Investment is a different thing than building. So when you're an investor, by and large, you're competing with other investors that have only two emotions, fear and greed. Right? And so every time there's an opportunity-rich space, you get a bubble. If you look at the dot-com bubble in 1998 or so, if you look at stock prices, they went up and then they collapsed and then they normalized.
Yeah.
But I don't look at that world because I don't think of myself as an investor. I say, what happened to internet traffic? You can't tell where the bubble is by looking at internet traffic. Okay? One of the original bubbles was in the 1830s in England when railroads first came and you got
Industrial Revolution.
you got the right to build a railroad between two cities, you could offer scripts, essentially do an IPO. And of course, there was a huge bubble in script prices and then a collapse. The same thing, if you look at the miles of railroad built, you can't tell when the bubble was in the 1830s. So what is reality for you? To me, the reality is internet traffic, miles of railroad built, AI applications. AI valuations isn't something I worry about, but there surely will be a bubble. Almost certainly.
Will be? Or?
Will be, or we are in one.
Right.
I like to say even in 2025, most investments that are made will lose money.
Right. You believe
most?
That? Yeah.
The vast majority, I might even guess north of 80%. But more money will be made than lost. So the few things that succeed are playing in such large markets. It's the same issue of there's 10 startups. One will make more money than the other 9 lose in every area. Of the next 1,000 startups, 990 can lose money, and you can still make money by investing in the right portfolio. So I do think we will see that. I do think we will see a collapse in valuations. Most likely, you can't never be certain. But it's such a large market we are playing in, such a large global transformation, that there will be many more opportunities than we've seen ever before. And that's good news for entrepreneurs. And almost certainly, most of this won't be done by large companies.
Do you have a view on crypto and blockchains? They're not allowed in India. It's a world where we have seen sudden adoption in the West and some neighbors of ours, but... Again,
as you've seen, crypto has been a function of politics, not of reality.
You don't think?
I think there's very different worlds of crypto. There's cryptocurrency, very, very different than the blockchain. The blockchain has a lot of uses. And if you said to me, will we see adoption of stablecoins? Absolutely. It makes total sense to adapt stablecoins. Okay? Every economy should have a stablecoin. The Indian government should issue a stablecoin. And then great place to do it with the Aadhaar system.
But don't you think something is wrong with the premise that you didn't trust regulation in the formal economy, so you created a blockchain outside and a crypto on top of it? Now, if you denominate the stable coin with the same dollar or the same currency, aren't you like going around in a circle?
Here's the problem. When you don't have trust, when is the blockchain important? When you don't have centralized trust.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't think distributed trust works across borders in all areas altogether. So the vast majority of uses of crypto are illegal stuff. Gun trades, drug trades, sex trafficking, arms trades. It's the vast use of crypto. Or people in Argentina trying to get their money out of the country, or in China, people trying to get their money out of the country. So in some places, they're doing exactly what the global economy would want them to do, which the government doesn't want them to do. But it's mostly illegal. And then there's speculation. And of course, related to that, fraud. Are there good uses for the blockchain of distributed trust? Yes. We have a company building a cell phone network based on distributed trust. Everybody can contribute their own access point. Right? Now, there's another company building Google Maps competitor based on how much you contribute to mapping.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of good uses for the stablecoin, but there's lots of bad uses. The problem is the bad uses prevent the good uses. And so stable coins is a currency mechanism is better than speculation.
And from that lens, the banking industry will likely get disrupted sooner than later.
With stable coins, it would be, yes.
Yeah. The cost of transaction and the...
Yeah. And UPI has started to do that in India, but it should be much, much cheaper. And, look, you don't need to have the whole legal system. You can have software contracts for at least half the things for which you have a legal system around contracts, right? So software contracts are really good use of the blockchain. Automatic settlement of the contracts financially, really good use of the blockchains. So I hope those come up.
Specifically to your home country, Vinod, of India, which has a disproportionately high number of IT services being exported. I can't remember the number, but somewhere around 200 billion. What do we do? How do we become resilient
I think it's
tomorrow?
very, BPO as a business will disappear.
Yeah.
Software IT services will mostly disappear. Disappear means transform pretty radically. Whether some of those companies can transform or not will determine whether they survive or not.